Hey there guys, this is Slamzeron, aka YouTube's Toscan. This is the 19th episode of the Wheneverly Update. Sheesh, it's been a few of them. We're almost close to 20. This was originally supposed to be a live update, but it got too long, and I was using my flip video, and I sort of had the angle all wrong. That's what I hate about the flip video. I can't get the friggin' angle right. Like, I don't know if it's the lens or the way I'm holding it, but kind of hard. Plus, I got my debit card a while ago, and I'm planning on rebuying my, or not really rebuying, because I never did buy it, because it came with my computer, buying my webcam recording software so I can make live updates again. Because the live updates are really not supposed to be major things, and and they're just supposed to be like webcam recordings. I feel like that's like the best way vlogs are done. Even if they're an HD webcam, I feel like they're best done on a webcam. Because I look at a vlog the same way as I look at a blog, where the important stuff is either what you say or what you type. But yeah, so not really much has been going on. I've been reading a lot of the Dragon Ball manga. I'm on volume 16. I actually finished 15 a while ago. I've been sort of breezing through that thing. That's what happens when I don't have Negima to read. And I ordered volumes 13 and 14 of Dragon Ball, which came, and I read those. And I've also been trying to get Z, because my Borders actually had a few of the volumes of Z, and so I got volume 1. I've been getting, the other volumes of Z while I've been waiting for trying to read Dragon Ball. Like, I've got volumes 1, 2, 4, and 5, because I'm waiting on 3 to come in the mail, of Dragon Ball. And so, yeah. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. I also downloaded and played the Dragon Age 2 demo. And, pretty dang good. Not gonna lie, it's pretty good. One of my main concerns with the game was the customization, because I heard that you weren't going to be able to customize your character, and like in order to focus more on the story, they were going to let you play as like this preset character, which is sort of the case. But you still get to customize, their gender and their class and, just how they look. They're just supposed to be human. You can't, like, change, like, their actual, like, race. And, it's pretty good. And your character actually talks. Like, the male character is actually voiced by Sean Bean, too, which is pretty cool, because it makes me think of Martin. And, that's pretty badass, when you're voiced by Martin in a video game. Especially this kind of game. Another one of my concerns was the combat, because although I love Dragon Age and its story elements, the combat, I felt like I was playing an MMO. That's the same case with White Knight Chronicles. Of course, that game is literally an MMO, and Final Fantasy 12. But in this game, it was literally, it was made by BioWare, so they were using that kind of style. But for Dragon Age, and they said, like, when Dragon Age 2 was coming out, when they were working on it, they said they were going to try to, like, make the console versions, like, more actiony, which was true. I started playing the game, started to attack. That was one of my major concerns, and, it played like an action game. You press it to attack, and if you let go, you don't attack anymore. I actually made sure to check. I was, like, pressing X repeatedly, and I was doing attacks. It felt like an action game. I even let go of the X button to make sure it wasn't an auto attack, and it wasn't. And that was perfect. I loved that. And, then I figured out that you could do, like, the cool moves like you could in the first game. That was pretty cool, because everything sort of flowed together, especially with that Claymore weapon. That's actually one of the better weapons that I've noticed. I don't know how it played in Dragon Age, Dragon Age 1, because I used a sword and shield, and I will probably use a sword and shield in this game as well. But, I really enjoyed the combat. It plays like it's literally the perfect MMO battle system, and I'm not even kidding. I think this one is actually better than Dungeons & Dragons Online. And while in a way that's saying something, it's also not at the same time, because Dungeons & Dragons Online, while it had a great battle system initially, it was missing a few things. I feel like I was missing the hotkeys, or like the cool attacks that EverQuest has and whatnot, and I don't know. But Dragon Age 2 plays like friggin' EverQuest. It's just like EverQuest. It's not like, Demon Souls, where, it's basically an action MMO with, hotkeys and slapped on it, where it plays like, a combination of EverQuest, where it takes like EverQuest's, hotkeys and menus and puts in Vindictus's battle system. This game literally plays like an action version of EverQuest. It's perfect. It's literally perfect. My only gripe in terms of our MMORPG stuff, I kind of wish that, you could map, your potion to like one of the little keys that you can do, like you can do in like MMO games or something. Well, no, you can't do that in MMOs anyway. And actually, you know what? They have the quick heal thing too, so never mind. They probably even have, healing magic that you can do. I think you can basically tailor your character in the way you want. And you know what? I think I might tailor my character in the same way I tailored my guy in EverQuest. Sword and shield and magic. Or like give him like healing stuff and whatnot. Maybe give him like badass magic he can use. It's Coolio, man. It's freaking Coolio. And I remember started playing the game. It was kind of funny the way the story was. Like, it sets up for like Dragon Age 3, which will probably be the case. They're gonna make Dragon Age 3. And they said, I was like, where's the champion? Which is your character. And it's like, okay, I'll tell you. And it's funny because they actually sort of make a joke while make a tutorial anyway. They make like this like little sort of thing where it's like the main character and his or her sister, who's a mage, and you're fighting all these bad guys. Then this big troll guy comes in, and then like it's like, oh, we're not gonna make it. There are too many enemies. And it's like, I guess we'll just fire our way through something like that. But then the other character, who's a girl, interrogating the guy who's telling the story, is like, bullshit, that's not how it happened. And it cuts to the regular time, but then it goes like, what actually happened, where you're running away, your family's running away from, the bad people. Although I don't really particularly care that you couldn't really switch your your race, because it's like Fable, and I normally play as humans anyway, so I mean, I still like to have the variety available, like and and the way they could have worked around is like they could have kept the story the same, but have it to where the player character was adopted or something. And they didn't really talk about it. They only mentioned it a few. They would only mention it a few times, or they could make it to where there were different scenarios, and the human scenario would happen to be either the quote unquote canonical one, or just the same one. Or I don't know. Not that it really matters, because the gameplay is really what sort of sold it for me. I do plan on buying it. Of course, I still need to finish Dragon Age though. Another thing that I'm sort of jumping around a little bit. Another thing that I was sort of disappointed with in the game was that you couldn't jump. That was going back to the MMO thing. Not that that's really a problem, because you don't really use that much jumping in MMOs anyway. Yes, I know I'm comparing it to an MMO, but literally, the first Dragon Age played like an MMO. The only difference is the hotkeys were sort of placed differently. And, it would be like having a raid party, for the entire duration of the game, and you could actually talk to them. Well, no, you can do that in MMOs too. You can talk to people. You can talk to your friends. And but this one, same thing, except regular attacks are action oriented. You press it once, you'll attack once. You press it like 2 more times to do a little combo, and there's no holding it down to make your guy attack. And you can still tell that it's an MMO, because if you hit it once, then wait a little while, and then you hit it again, your character is going to do what should have been a follow-up attack after you do your downward slash. You might do an upward slash to, attack again. And it's kind of cool, because when you're running towards your enemies and you're pressing X, he does like a flip with his sword, or at least my guy did. Going back to the story, there's a dead guy on the ground, like, then the main character kneeled down. And I saw in the corner it said switch to weapon and shield. I'm thinking, yes, I can use sword and shield. But I thought they were going to give me like an option, like I would get a shield, and then I get to choose whatever sort of single-handed weapon I wanted to use. I was like, okay, I'll just choose a sword. But no, they gave me Sword and Shield from the get-go, and that was awesome. Thank you, Dragon Age 2. I played it that way too. It's like, this is awesome. It plays exactly the way I wanted it to. This is awesome. If they ever, I really think that, you know, MMO developers should take a look at what Dragon Age 2 is doing. I really do. And EverQuest Next is, you know, being worked on, so hopefully they'll make, you know, the game play more like this. That'd be awesome. I would totally play that. That'd be so awesome. I mean, of course I'm going to play it anyway. But still, that's awesome. As far as my other gaming adventures are going, I also played some E7. I got Aisha in my party, and she's pretty funny. You know, I like her. She's probably my favorite girl so far. There's that brown-haired chick from the first game, the first East game, who throws apples at people. Excuse me. There's also Leda, who has like the best voice actress in the world, Claudia Lenz, who is awesome in like every way. Let's see. But yeah, Aisha's pretty cool. She makes me think of the Koihime Mizu character Kanu, because her real name is Aisha. I feel like they're both sort of different, though they're actually very different. Aisha also, for some reason, reminds me of Angelica. It's probably her bratty voice. Like, everybody's like, aim up, you know? It's funny. Because, you know, in E7, you know, there isn't that much voiceover. But even Adol has a voice, and, you know, in every other game, and like in Oath and Felghana had like a narrator, and that game had full voice acting, so. Yeah, pretty fun game. It's getting to where it's getting a little hard, though, and I actually just got Mustafa in my party, and I switched him out Dogi, because I thought that Dogi's like useless at this part, because he doesn't really add much when, you know, the enemies at this point are either easier to hit by Mustafa or by Aisha, and Adol is the occasional squid person. Though I was worried because I thought Dogi wouldn't get any levels up since he wasn't in the party, but luckily they made it to where he could get levels up. He actually got a level up at the same time as Mustafa did, so that was perfect. And I was glad, so I don't really feel bad for taking him out of the party. And I figured that I'd keep Dogi in the party a good bit until like near the end of the game, where I just use my own party and I go running around. But yeah, pretty fun game. Also, in case you guys can't really tell, I have given up on Kingdom Hearts in a half days. On my blog post, I think I said like 300 and a half penises or something, kind of making fun of it. The game right now is too hard, and I probably could beat it if I grinded enough by doing like the little mission thing with Riku, but I really don't feel like it. I don't feel like, you know, breaking my back trying to friggin' beat this game just so I can see what happens. The multiplayer kind of thing was cool. I like how you got to play as other characters. You know, in a way, I would almost play the multiplayer over Birth by Sleep, just because I feel like Birth by Sleep, I'm just playing as like my own kind of character. Not that Birth by Sleep isn't fun. Birth by Sleep is awesome. Best Kingdom Hearts so far, in my opinion. But, you know, I'm not gonna break my back with this stupid DS game. It's good. I definitely like it more than Chain of Memories, and Recoded came out, and I'm gonna give that a try. And that, from what I've seen, that plays more like for the regular parts at least, it plays more like Birth by Sleep. Like I know this part where it's like where it plays like a turn-based game, which it's funny because you get to have Hercules and Cloud on your team. It's almost like it's a pre-Final Fantasy VII remake for the DS. Anyway. But yeah, I'm giving up on that game. Not going to play it at all anymore. Maybe I'll pick it up after, you know, Kingdom Hearts is done and over. Because at that point I will have like played every single one except for I will have finished every single one except for Chain of Memories and 300 thing, I don't know. There's one series in particular that I feel like I've been neglecting, and that's Phantasy Star. Particularly the Phantasy Star Universe games, because I have never even played a Phantasy Star game besides that. I have Phantasy Star Universe for my Xbox and Phantasy Star Portable 1 and 2 for my PSP. You know, I kind of like Phantasy Star because I feel like it's one MMORPG that I know is in its own way perfect